All right, here we go. Fox News alert. Hunter Biden suing the IRS, accusing its whistleblowers of illegally revealing his tax info and humiliating him in the process.
The lawsuit states, quote, IRS agents have targeted and sought to embarrass Mr. Biden via public statements to the media in which they and their representatives disclosed confidential information about a private citizen's tax matters.
Attorney Tristan Leavitt represents one of those IRS whistleblowers, Gary Shapley, and he joins us right now to react. Counselor, thanks so much for joining the program. I guess the big question is, do you guys take this as witness intimidation?
Yeah, unfortunately, his mic's not up. Hopefully, eventually will get up.
Hold on a sec.
Can we turn up the volume?
Flip that
Looks
switch.
like he's trying.
Okay.
There you go.
We hear you now. It's better.
Clearly a frivolous lawsuit. So what you see here is that Hunter Biden's attorneys are accusing the whistleblowers of releasing this information, but it was the Committee on House Ways and Means that has the legal authorization pursuant to laws that Congress itself wrote. That's who released this information. Prior to that, the whistleblowers only shared broad strokes that related to no taxpayer specifics. But once that information is released by Congress, just like it was with Trump's tax returns, it's public information and people can speak about it in whatever context. So this lawsuit is clearly just an attempt to intimidate the whistleblowers and any others who might want to come forward.
So, Tristan, this really is a shot at House Republicans who are doing the investigating, because they're saying, essentially, they're saying your client and the other fellow were behind closed doors testifying before Congress, and they spilled the beans. Were they authorized to reveal confidential tax information to Congress?
Yes. The the taxpayer protection statute that Congress wrote has a specific provision for whistleblower disclosures, that if there was any wrongdoing in the investigation of tax returns, that can be disclosed to Congress. And that's what these individuals did, and they're clearly protected by that statute. So they had every right to talk to Congress about these matters.
Tristan, we asked Sean Hannity about this, and he said, I would countersue if I were one of the whistleblowers, because discovery, you get discovery, and I want information on Biden, on Hunter Biden. Do you plan to do that?
We haven't determined what our response will be yet, but we definitely aren't going to be intimidated by a frivolous attempt like this, and we hope that other whistleblowers who might potentially be considering coming forward won't be intimidated either.
Tristan, my sense, looking at this case broadly, the White House can't be happy about this. More additional attention on taxes somebody didn't pay, on deals they claim they didn't have anything to do with, on an investigation that is pursuing, should it exist, a relationship between Joe and Hunter. Now they just put the jet fuel on this.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. As I hear Abby Lowe out there speaking, the one thing that no one has asked him directly is, did Hunter Biden ever pay taxes on the bereavement income he made in 2014? Because despite all the talking points about how these taxes have been paid off or how this is something that the government shouldn't be investigating, he can't deny that simple fact. And so I think this does draw attention to those. And that money and how it came about is clearly a focus of congressional investigators and those considering impeachment at this time.
Counselor, can you speak to the fact that your client has said here on Fox that they tried to go through the normal process with the leadership within the IRS? This was a final step to become a whistleblower. Can you talk about what type of pushback that they received from their superiors?
Yeah, and it's important to understand the law. My background is in whistleblower protection. President Biden actually nominated me to the Merit Systems Protection Board because of that expertise, and I was confirmed by the Senate. And so it's important to understand that you don't have to go to Congress to be a whistleblower or to have made protected disclosures. Special Agent Shapley made disclosures that are protected by the whistleblower law throughout his time working on this case. And interviews by Congress with his second-level supervisor, Michael Batdorf, confirmed that just in the last week. They were aware of this. There actually was not a lot of pushback within his agency. The IRS supervision supervisors either supported him in what he was doing, or those that didn't like it really backed away from the case and weren't involved. It wasn't until he disclosed his concerns to U.S. Attorney David Weiss that there began to be problems for him. And that's when Weiss began retaliating against him. And that's what set him on this path of deciding to come forward, both the retaliation and the knowledge that, you know, as Weiss disclosed, Biden appointed U.S. attorneys were blocking charges from being brought against Hunter Biden.
And ultimately, the ironic thing is Hunter Biden is accused of allegedly not paying taxes on a bunch of money. But now here he is suing essentially the IRS and, you know, angry at the investigators because of an invasion of privacy.
It's very clear that Hunter Biden's attorneys are desperate. It seems they didn't expect there to be a gun charge because of the agreements, which Delaware prosecutors should never have been in the position of anyway. But now that that's happened, they are flailing, and they're apparently striking out anywhere they can.
Tristan, if we didn't have the Republicans in the House, if we didn't have Chuck Grassley with the 1023 releasing that, if we didn't have these whistleblowers, we wouldn't know about any of this information. We encourage whistleblowers to come forward if they know, if they have information that is valuable to the public. In these situations, how do they pay for their attorneys? They lost their jobs, they aren't making any money, and then they have to pay for their attorney fees, and now they're being sued.
15 seconds.
Yeah, so Empower Oversight represents people like these. We think it's important. People can go to defendwhistlblowers.com to help support our law enforcement legal defense fund, but this is why we exist, because whistleblowers need protection.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.